Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council members, city officials, and streaming audience. I would like to welcome everyone to the April 11th City Council meeting. We have 8 items on the agenda this evening. We are here meeting in chambers with public attendance, and we're streaming live on YouTube. Moving forward, if you would, Ms. Moss, please continue with the roll call of our members.
Present.
Yes.
Here.
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 Here. I don't know if you heard me. Here.
At this time, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, everyone. The minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed for review. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as they are? Motion by Ms. Payne, seconded by Ms. Henderson. Roll call on the motion to accept the minutes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
The minutes have been accepted. We will now move on to reports from our committees. We'll begin with our Community Affair Committee. Mr. Greg Phillips.
Thank you, President Geringer. Community Affairs does not have anything on the agenda this evening, and we do not have anything new to report. Thank you.
Next, moving on to Human Resource Committee. Ms. Payne.
Thank you, President Geringer. Human Resources, we do not have anything on the agenda this evening, and we do not have anything to report on. Thank you.
Moving to Development Committee. Ms. Nickerson.
Thank you, President Geringer. Development has one item on the agenda tonight, number 7. It's a first reading, an ordinance consenting to an Ohio Enterprise Zone and tax abatement agreement between the City of Chiillicothe, Ohio, and J.C. Properties of Chiillicothe, LLC, doing business as Chiillicothe Steel. At the appropriate time, I'm going to ask to make an amendment to that, to add emergency language. I would like to go ahead with the 3 reads, and I think that's ample time to involve community and get any feedback from them. But simply to negate the 30 days that we have to wait. So after the 3 reads, it will go into effect immediately. And that's all development has. Thank you.
Next, our Finance Committee. Mr. Anthony Phillips.
Thank you, President Geringer. Finance has 3 things on the agenda tonight. Number 3 is a second reading for an ordinance accepting the appropriation of over $10,000 received from the recycling of scrap water meters for the use towards replacing other aged meters in the city. Straightforward on that. The next 2 items, ordinances, are first reads. The first is grant money that was received and appropriated, $2,500 from the Ohio Forestry Association towards a tree planting program. Excuse me. And the third item, which again is a first read of an ordinance appropriating $11,000 to purchase a computer voice stress analysis 3 system for the police department. Basically a lie detector machine and software, so we do not have to use outside sources for that. And those are the 3 items tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Parks and Recreation Committee, Ms. Henderson.
Thank you, President Garinger. Parks and Rec has 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first is item number 1, third reading of a resolution expressing cooperation and granting use of a certain portion of Paint Street to the downtown Chiillicothe organization for its Yellow Day celebration on Friday, May 6th. And the second is third reading of a resolution granting the use of City Park and surrounding streets from Thursday, May 26th, 8 a.m. through Monday, May 30th, 11 a.m. For preparation, operation, and cleanup of the Feast of the Flowering Moon. And then the third is item number 4, which is a second reading resolution expressing cooperation and granting use of a portion of Paint Street to the 50 West Brewing Company for the 50 West Half Marathon on Sunday, June 5th. A couple of quick announcements. The Pineapple Awards for Hospitality are coming up here soon. Nomination deadline. So if you know someone who is a fantastic host, nomination deadline is Friday, April 15th. The awards ceremony will be held Monday, May 2nd at 11:30 a.m. And then downtown Chiillicothe is hosting a spring cleanup this Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. And then the last thing that I want to mention is the Visit Chiillicothe app. Please go check out the app, download it, and there are all kinds of really cool events and different things that can be found on there. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to Safety Service Committee, Ms. Preston.
Thank you, President Garinger. Safety Service has nothing on the agenda tonight, therefore has nothing to discuss.
Next is the Engineering Committee, which will combine also with a report for City Services and Transit, as Mr. Farrow is filling in the vacated space by previous councilperson Gillum. Mr. Farrow.
Thank you. On behalf of the Engineering Committee, we have nothing on the agenda and nothing new to report. On behalf of the Transit Committee, we have item number 8, which is a first reading of a resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants through the U.S. DOT Federal Transit Administration as authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 USC Section 5311. Formula grants for rural areas and the Ohio Transit Partnership Program grant, both in Ohio's Rural Transportation Program and grants authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 U.S. Section 5339. Grants for buses and bus facilities, Ohio Bus and Bus Facilities Transportation Program, accepting such grants if awarded, executing a contract with ODOT upon project approval, and declaring an emergency. That was a mouthful. This grant does have a filing date or deadline for May 1st, which is just a couple weeks away. So at the appropriate time, I'm going to ask that we waive the 3-read rule. Thank you.
And finally, our Utilities Committee, Mr. Prohl.
Utilities has nothing to report tonight, so it's a short report.
Thank you. From there, we move on to reports of our officials. Our mayor, Mr. Luke Feeney.
Thank you, President Garinger. I'll be brief tonight as well. If my math is right, I just want to point out on item 1. I don't think this will go into effect before Yellow Day with the 30-day rule. So just might want to consider emergency language on that one. And then on a similar topic, I forwarded a committee assignment request to President Garinger tonight for a request for another downtown block off in front of the courthouse for Keys to Success. That's a May 12th request, so another tight turnaround on that one. It's a new one. I don't think Keys to Success has had a downtown event like this before, so we just kind of went over logistics. We've reviewed internally, looks manageable, but that was forwarded on tonight, so that'll be in front of you soon. And then last thing in my report is that the State of the City will be April 29th. It will be part of something new. Last year was new. We did a State of the City I had some help from my friends. It was a Zoom with people involved in the community over the past couple of years. This year, it will be part of a State of the Community hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. There will also be the county commissioners giving their state of the county, and I believe the superintendent of the Chiillicothe City School District. So again, my state of the city will be April 29th. That's a Friday, 8:30 a.m. at the Postmark, which is just down the street. And it will also be live streamed. And I'll have more details both online and at the next council meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to our auditor, Ms. Spetnagel.
I do not have anything on the agenda tonight, but I do want to remind everyone the income tax is due on April the 18th, and we'll have extended hours on Monday. We will be open until 6 o'clock. And then I will be doing a budget review on April the 25th at 6:30. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up is a report from our law director, Ms. Villarreal.
Thank you. We've prepared the amended ordinance as requested by council and got everything else going that has been requested. Other than that, we have no report. Thanks.
Now the report from myself as council president. There are 2 vacancies on boards within the town. There's the nuisance board that has a member of council that's represented on there, as well as the design review board. We have nominations from myself that then are approved by council. With those, I'd like to nominate Ms. Preston for the seat on the nuisance board. We have a motion. Motion by Ms. Payne, seconded by Ms. Nickerson. Roll call on the motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
I don't.
Did I call you? Okay. Preston. Preston.
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Motion passes. Nomination passes. And for the design review board, the nomination is Ms. Henderson. Roll call on the motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
And that nomination passes. That's all I have to report. Moving on to audience participation. Council Rule 22 does limit each speaker to a 5-minute presentation and a total limitation of 15 minutes per any single subject. If you get to the point where you're getting close to 1 minute left, I'll try to indicate to you to summarize your presentation. Anyone who wishes to speak, we do need for our records your name and address.
Oh my goodness. Correct. John Thacker, 990 Columbus Street, apartment 307, 4th Ward. I wanted to say thank you to the city of Chiillicothe for putting in what I call my new bus bench in front of ProMedica. It's actually everybody's, but since I use it the most, I'll still, at least when I'm talking to people, say it's mine. I'd also like to thank Clint Boggs for taking the time to meet with me briefly to talk about the ins and out of Mary Lou Patton Park, which is also in my neighborhood. And I'm going to put Mr. Carmen, I think, a little bit on the defensive here, because about 2.5 years ago, I had a conversation with him regarding something about private roads. I don't know if you remember that or not. It's been so long ago. And you know what? He said, you know what? I don't know. And I'd never heard a politician or anybody that had said something like that before, so I thought, oh my goodness, I like him. But then he took some time, and then he gave me some information, which was helpful. And I don't know if I really thanked you. And that's it. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on. Okay. Next, we'll go to old business. Does anyone have old business that they would like to bring up this evening? Mrs. Payne.
I would like to make an amendment to the non-bargaining ordinance that we just passed, and that is, the amendment is to add the nuisance officer onto that non-bargaining. So if I could do that this evening.
Request for amendment. Seconded by Mr. Farrow. Roll call. No amendment? First motion for reconsideration, seconded by Mr. Farrow. Roll call on the motion for reconsideration.
Payne,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Roll call on the motion, or second on the motion for, second on the motion? Or just roll call? Yeah. Seconded by Ms. Nickerson. Roll call on the new motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Motion passes. Any additional old business? Moving to participation and correspondence received by the clerk.
I've received no petitions or correspondence.
Then moving to new business. Does anyone have anything that they would like to bring up in relationship to new business? So from here, we'll move on to our Ms. Henderson.
I'd like to make a motion that we limit our use of paper, so we continue to print out the agenda so the public has access to it. And they can still request copies of the legislation, but that we don't print them out for each individual meeting any longer. To reduce our paper.
Do I have a second? Mr. Farrow? Roll call on the motion for limited paper consumption.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Even though this will probably cause a run on toilet paper, yes.
Motion passes. Any additional new business items? All right. So moving on to legislation. We have 8 items on our agenda this evening. Ms. Moss, whenever you're ready, start with item number 1.
Thank you, President Geringer. Item number 1 is a third reading. a resolution expressing cooperation and granting use of a certain portion of Paint Street to the downtown Chiillicothe organization for its Yellow Day celebration on May 6th, 2022.
President Geringer,
Yes. Ms.
I'd like
Henderson.
to make a motion to add emergency language to this item.
Is there a second? Ms. Payne? Roll call on the motion to amend with emergency language.
Payne,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the resolution.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Moving on to item number 2.
Item number 2 is a third reading, a resolution granting the use of the city park and surrounding streets from Thursday, May 26, 2022 at 8 a.m. through Monday, May 30th, 2022 at 11 a.m. for the preparation, operation, and cleanup of the annual Feast of the Flowering Moon and providing for coordination of its events with the City Parks and Recreation Department.
Roll call on the resolution.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Moving on to item number 3.
Item number 3 is a second reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating $10,242.60 received from the recycling of scrap water meters for the use toward replacing other aged meters in the city's water distribution system.
This item will move to the next meeting. Item 4.
Item number 4 is a second reading, a resolution expressing cooperation and granting use of a portion of Paint Street to the 50 West Brewing Company for the 50 West Half Marathon on Sunday, June 5th, 2022.
This item will move to the next agenda. Item 5.
Item number 5 is the first reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating $2,500 received from the Ohio Forestry Association.
This item will move to the next meeting. Item 6.
Item number 6 is a first reading of an ordinance appropriating $11,000 to purchase a computer voice stress analysis 3 system for the Chiillicothe Police Department.
This item will move to the next meeting. Item 7.
Item number 7 is an ordinance consenting to an Ohio Enterprise Zone and Tax Abatement Agreement between the City of Chiillicothe, Ohio, and J.C. Properties of Chiillicothe, LLC, doing business as Chiillicothe Steel.
President Geringer,
Yes, Ms. Nickerson.
at this time, I would like to amend that particular, make a motion to amend, adding emergency language to move forward with the 3 reads, but after the 3rd read to go into effect immediately.
Is there an impact if it waits the 30 days? Out of curiosity.
It's just that it took extra time to get this legislation here, and I feel like this gives ample time to the public to participate in this process. But that being said, I feel like Chiillicothe Steel has waited a long time, and I don't think the extra 30 days is going to make any big difference as far as it'll be a kindness to him just to have his business move forward.
Is there a second? Mr. Anthony Phillips? Or, sorry, Mr. Greg Phillips. Second, roll call on the motion to add emergency language.
Prohl,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number, and item will be moved to next agenda. Item number 8.
Item number 8 is a first reading of a resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants through the U.S. DOT Federal Transit Administration as authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 U.S.C. Section 5311 Formula Grants for Rural Areas and the Ohio Transit Partnership Program Grant, both in Ohio's Rural Transportation Program and grants authorized under federal transit laws as codified 49 U.S. Section 5339, grants for buses and bus facilities, Ohio Bus and Bus Facilities Transportation Program, accepting such grants if awarded, executing a contract with ODOT upon project approval, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Farrow.
At this time, I'd ask that we waive the 3-read rule so that way we can file this before the deadline of May 1st.
Second. Ms. Payne. Roll call on the motion to waive the 3-read rule.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the resolution.
Payne,
Yes.
Prohl,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Resolution passes. At this time, does anyone have anything else that they would like to add or bring up? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion by Mrs. Henderson, seconded by Ms. Farrow. Roll call on the motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Have a good evening.